If anyone had told me years ago that I would be getting on camera and posting on the internet with a completely bare face, I would have never believed them, but here we are. Back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to document my current daily makeup routine. I, in 2022, wanted to be more focused on things like being vegan and cruelty-free and better packaging that is more sustainable. And in today's video, I actually got sent quite a few products from Merit Beauty, and their ethos is very in line with what I'm looking to implement more into what I use on my face. I really hope that you like this video. If you want to learn more about Merit, I'm gonna have them linked in the description bar below, and I'll have the links to the products that I use there as well. So if you like this kind of thing, keep on watching. So right now I'm actually in my filming studio, and I just have a little sort of vanity desk in front of me that I typically do my makeup at. I love getting in the zone, lighting a candle, having a coffee. Since I already had one this morning, I'm not gonna do another one, but I'm just gonna start by putting my hair back at least a little bit so it's not as much in my face. And I already started by cleansing my skin and putting moisturizer on, but one of the things that I love to do next is actually put on a vitamin C serum from The Ordinary, and this one is the ascorbic acid and alpha arbutin, 8% and 2%, and I naturally have oily skin anyway, so I've always been surprised that my skin reacts really well to more oil-based serums, but this one it's so good. My skin just sort of drinks it up. It just also gives another sort of barrier in between my skin and the makeup that I put on it. So that is step number one after I cleanse my face. And some of you, I'm sure, are primer people, but I'm just not. I've tried it before, and I just honestly don't really think that it makes that much of a difference. So I skip that and go straight in with foundation. I've already dampened my beauty blender, which is always step number one. And the foundation that I really love to use is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. It comes in this bottle, and I just have the one for normal to oily skin in the shade 110. Typically with foundation, I tend to go quite a bit lighter than my actual skin tone, and that's because I love a good bronzy and contoured look. So we'll get into that later, but I like starting off with a lighter base just because I feel afterwards it does just make it a lot more of a natural look when you sort of build up from something lighter than putting dark on top of dark. So this is just something that I've done for years now. Basically, I used to just love to be bronzed right from the beginning, and I've realized now that that's just really not the best way to go about doing things. So I try to take a little bit more of a natural approach. But step number two is where Merit starts coming in, and first of all, their packaging is insane. Anything that I get, whether it's a piece of clothing or a pair of shoes, or especially beauty products, packaging makes all the difference. So this is their Perfecting Complexion Stick, and it's in the color cream. And how they sort of marketed this is a mix between a foundation and a concealer. It can sort of be whatever you want, but I just add it in places where I just want a little bit more coverage, or if there are any spots that I have or anything like that, I like to just go in with this one, and the texture of it is just really nice. So instead of doing a proper concealer, I typically just take this for any spots that I need it and just blend it out again with the same beauty blender, and that is basically step number two. There have also been concealers before that I've realized you have to blend out so quickly because otherwise they sort of dry on your skin, and then it's just difficult to have everything look completely blended and sort of seamless. So this is a product that I really love for that reason, is because it's super easily blended, and because of the more creamy formula of it, I just think that it works really well for any sort of skin texture, anything like that that your skin might have, or that mine certainly does. So that is basically step number two as far as getting the skin sort of prepped and ready to go with a base. Now, as I mentioned, I love bronzer. So this is the Chanel, it used to be called the Soleil de Tan or Tan de Soleil. It's from the Les Beiges collection. And this is in the darker one. So they recently came out with this product. There was another one before that was this, but basically just in a lighter tone. And it does look super dark, but once it's on, I just put it on the end of the Beauty Blender and sort of dot it around my face, just basically the perimeter, and then like contour by my cheekbones. But this is where I get the bronzy sort of look that I love. And this, because the formula is so easily blendable. I just find that if you're getting products that have the right formula, that's really what makes all the difference, because no matter how perfectly shade matching a beauty product is, if the formula isn't right, it's not gonna work and it's not gonna last, and the texture is gonna be off. So this Chanel one, the Chanel bronzer, is it's one of my absolute must-haves. I love this so much. So that's basically the bronzing done, but anything remaining that I have on the end, I actually just pop on my eyelids. And I feel like this is such a tip, is to use a product multiple times on your face. So if you have any left over, whatever it is, bronzer or blush, to add it into another spot on your face just adds more like cohesiveness to the whole look, which is something that, especially in a beauty routine, is totally necessary. A lot of people are putting bronzer also on their nose, but that's just not really my look. I love a good natural sun-kissed look, but I don't want to go overboard with it, so I'll stop there with all of the bronzing. Now next is blush. I like to get the base completely done before moving on to anything else. And I'm going in with Revlon Oh Baby Pink in 001. That's the shade of it. And it's this blush. I love a good blush. I actually love to over blush, to be honest. So I do pop this on the apples of my cheeks, but sort of go up more with it. I think that look is just so much more natural, I guess. Like, instead of just having one like blob of pink here, it's very relaxing and therapeutic. Again, anything that I have left over, I just pop on my forehead. I'm just gonna do that to finish off whatever I have on my brush. And then moving on to the next one is something that I never used to be into, and it's highlighter. But since finding this one from Merit, this is called Bounce. It's a highlighting balm. Again, the texture of this is insane, but the sheen of this one, like it's so beautiful. It's like champagne meets rosé. It's beautiful. I pop this on. Sometimes like I've drawn it on, but how I like it best is done just with my fingers. I feel like that gives it more of a natural look. And this, like, it's so good. So one of the things that I wanted to mention about Merit is that not only are they clean beauty, so they try to like refrain from putting in any ingredients that aren't completely necessary and are benefiting your skin, which is something that I absolutely love. So they're all fragrance free, they're cruelty free, they have the Leaping Bunny certification, which at the end of the day, if you're looking for cruelty free products, that's the only way to have it actually be guaranteed that it's cruelty free, which is something that I honestly just found out about. I thought that if it said cruelty free, that it was fine, but without that Leaping Bunny on it, you don't know 100%. So that's something that I'm so happy that Merit is. And they have a great dedication to a good formula. So they've taken out things that, even though they are considered clean, like coconut oil, they've taken those out of their products because it can be triggering for like acne prone skin, which is something that I definitely have. I just love the thought that they've put into these things. So not only do they have beautiful packaging, but even the packaging, they're dedicating themselves to like use mostly recycled plastics, which is awesome, because obviously the fewer single-use plastics we have in our lives, the better. I know I've added on a lot of this, but it's a pretty natural sheen, which I really like. It's nothing too crazy. So I did just pop it under the brow bone, on top of my cheekbones, and I do just a little bit down my nose, not too much, because I don't want to look like a disco ball and be super reflecting, but that's basically it for the highlighting balm. And the next up is eyeliner, which I typically do just with this very, very small black eyeliner pencil. I've had it for ages, but honestly, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's sort of how I feel with this one. So it's actually from Annabelle, and I I just love it. I love the look that it's given me, and especially when you finally find like the makeup routine that suits you and that you love looking at every single day. That's something that I've had years and years of sort of troubleshooting. So now that I've finally found this routine, I'm not messing with it. So I'm gonna do a winged eyeliner next. I think I'm gonna time lapse this next bit because it does take me a little bit to get this part right. Okay, now that that is done and over with, I've got the eyeliner on, so I just do like, it's a pretty subtle winged liner, just in black and only on the top. That is one of my biggest suggestions. And honestly, not that I'm a beauty guru, but to put eyeliner on, especially a winged liner or a liquid liner, which I've started using a little bit here and there, to put that on with your eye open does a world of difference. So don't try and do it with your eye closed because it just ends up being a little bit of a disaster. And always have a good Q-tip on hand because that's gonna be your saving grace just in case things don't really go to plan. So the next thing I do is trying to get my lashes to not only be separated but be voluminous and have good length. I use the Merit mascara, and this one is insane. It's in perfect black and it's considered a lengthening mascara. So honestly, what I do is normally mix two of them. I have this one from Essence and it's called Get Big Lashes, triple black. It has a 3 on the bottom, just in case you're looking for a packaging reference. But I normally do this one as the base coat, and then I do 2 coats with the Merit one. And the reason why I do that is because I feel like this one sort of gets it gets the product on there first, and then the Merit one does such a great job of lengthening and just sort of separating the lashes. Like 3 coats is sort of what I feel I need to get my lashes looking big and noticeable, because before I used to curl my lashes and I just feel like it works for like the first hour, and then after that they just sort of fall flat, just like curling your hair starts to fall after a while. I find curling lashes is sort of the same deal, which can get a little bit frustrating. So instead, just doing like more of the foolproof route and doing just a bunch of coats of mascara, that seems to be what works the best for me and my lashes. But it's something that I feel like I finally figured out, because forever I didn't want to do fake lashes every single day, and this is just what works for me. So that's the first coat done, and the next thing that I do is brows. Brows are something that I have, like, it's been a long journey with my eyebrows. There was actually, so I lived in Italy for a while. There was a time when I went to go and get my eyebrows done. And since then, since that terrible experience, I've never got my eyebrows waxed by somebody else. So what I do is just very like natural. And because I've got thick brows, I just fill them in right here at the front, just the front of each of them. And I do that with the Essence Baby Got Brow in like the lighter brown shade, because I find that especially to get a natural look, if you have super squared off brows, which is sort of how the front of mine naturally are, if you do that really dark and really like strong, it can just sort of throw off the whole look. So that's something that I want to avoid. So by using this pencil, it's just what works best for me. Having said that, Merit did send me like this brow pomade, which I think is amazing if it's a product that you need to fill in the rest of your brows, because I naturally have just very thick eyebrow hairs and they are quite dark. So I don't feel like I need to fill in the majority of them. It's just the fronts. But a brow pomade is something that I feel like everybody has been using. And this Merit one is so good. Again, like the texture, I tried it one day just to sort of play around with it and see if it worked for me, but I like to have a little bit more precision at the front just to sort of get a squared off look, but with a lighter brown to sort of get a natural shape. And I find that with this one, it's better used in the mids and the ends of your brow and to sort of lift the hairs up. So instead, I just use this one, and because of the shape of the end of the product, it does have a thinner side to it, which just helps me get the precision that I want. So my brow routine is like so quick. I just go in a little bit at the bottom, drag it up, and in any I have one sort of sparse area that I just go over a couple times, but that's basically it. I just want to sort of, again, square off anything that I need to, but it's only because my my eyebrows naturally have that shape that's sort of what I follow along, but a couple little strokes at the bottom and then up towards the top of my brow is really all that I need, and literally that is all I do to get my brows how they are. That's it, that's the end of it. The only thing that I'm missing is to just brush them through and we're done. So, because we're sort of nearing the end here, I'm gonna do another coat of mascara with the Merit Lengthening Perfect Black Mascara. After this, it's honestly my favorite part, which is lip. To me, a good lip look is just like the finishing touch. It's the cherry on top, and it's just my favorite part of the whole routine. I actually start by lining them, and this is like the new lip routine, and it takes 4 steps, actually 5, because I start out as soon as I'm like done doing my skincare. Right after I moisturize, I put a little bit of Vaseline on my lips because that's just what I find helps keep them hydrated the best. And I first line them, and what I'm using is Annabelle in number 300 in shade Spice. I overline my bottom lip a little bit, but I think that's the trick, is that if you want to go for the more like plump, juicy lip look, I only overline my bottom lip and just by a little bit, basically just in the center here, but I don't do that with my top just because it looks too unnatural at that point, and that's the last thing that I want to do. So I'm just gonna outline them and then we'll move on to step number 2. So this is where we land, and I don't want to look like I'm from the 1980s, but I do like a little bit of definition around the sort of edges of my lips. But to fill them in, I start with Pale Petal. It's by Elizabeth Arden, and this packaging, again, I told you I'm crazy about packaging. This one is so good. Whenever I see it in my handbag, I just get kind of excited. It's very nude and neutral, but I just pop that in all over my lips, sort of smack them together, and then I'm ready for step 3. I'm not gonna lie, my camera overheated and I added more blush on. So just in case you see a difference, I did just add a little bit more sort of here, and just right in the top on my forehead. But now it's step 3, and the next color I'm going to put on my lips is called Pretty Pink. It's number 23, again from Elizabeth Arden. And what I do with this one is just sort of dab it on the top. I like to have a little bit more of a pink tone on my lips lately, so this has really just been doing the trick. But I still do like to keep like a neutral, nudie sort of look, but with a little bit more color than I normally do, and this pink is just the perfect one. Okay, we're almost there. The last thing that I do is put this Merit product on top, and this one is called Au Naturel. It's a tinted lip oil, and I don't know if you guys know the Dior lip oil that like everybody is raving about. I saw Shea Whitney talking about it in one of her videos, and Kenna Marie on YouTube. I love them both, and I trust what they're saying about the Dior lip oil, but because I don't have that one, and Merit sent me this one, and the color of this, I feel like this would go really, really well with any sort of skin tone. I just pop a little bit of this on as like a final sort of sheen to your lips, and then that's basically it. If you also follow Lydia Lees-Millen, her lip combo is just something that I always love. Like, I love when she does it. So whatever products she uses, I wanted to sort of replicate that same sort of final look with what I did. So now we're basically done. The last thing that I do, again, is just one more coat of the Merit mascara. But one other thing that I wanted to mention is that they also send this black velvet bag along with their products. So this is something that I think is so great, because I honestly take beauty products with me anywhere I go every single day. Like whenever I leave the house, I'm taking something with me. If it's just to touch up throughout the day, I'd love to have something to carry the products in, especially because it has these sort of twist ties at the top. So it just makes for the perfect bag that's easily transported, and it's compact, and you can fill it however much or little you want, and it just ends up keeping everything in place so you know where everything is at any given time, because that tends to be something that is the hardest for me because I'll pop one lipstick in one purse and one pressed powder in another, and I never end up knowing where everything is all at the same time. So that bag has just sort of simplified everything for me. So that's just one more thing that you can look forward to if you decide to purchase any Merit products. But this is basically the final look, and if you guys liked it, please give it a thumbs up. But again, if you wanted to learn any more about Merit Beauty and what they stand for and what they use, check out the link in my description box because I'll link to their website, and I'll also have linked any of the products that I used from them. But I just love a mix of makeup plus skincare and using products that I know are gonna leave my skin better than when I first put them on. So if that's the sort of thing that you love too, I would love to do more videos like this. But in the meantime, please check out some more on my channel. I'll have them linked after this so they're only a click away, and I'll see you very, very soon in my next one. Bye guys. Oh, that glow. I'm telling you, this highlighter